Some may find the following disturbing. Discretion is advised.
Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's done by Barflies for Barflies and all the other Bears fans out there. What's going on, fellas? What is up? It's another week in the books. Shout out to Aldo for holding down the crew while I took a little much-needed time off, and the Bears get a little mini bye week here too. So we'll get into all that, but I'll go ahead and introduce you, fellas, or let you introduce yourself. First of all, the man across the pond, coming from far and wide, my man C-Dub. What is going on, Chris Watts?
Hey man, how you doing, guys? It's great to be with you, boys. You know, it's been a bit weird over this last month, and that we've been a bit down on numbers, so it's good to have people back in. But yeah, I'm all right, mate. Just looking forward to the game on Monday, and still getting over that slightly shocking display on what we had against Washington. But no, I'm good, guys, and it's great to see KB, man.
Yeah, shocking display. That's a nice way to put it. And then the man that needs no introduction, the man, the myth, the legend, K Bizzle, my man KB. What's good, brother? What's up?
The crowd goes wild as KB comes into the room. What's up, people? What's going on, man? Your boy, we was having a couple of difficulties, man. Your boy was on vacation at one point, and another day, I don't know what happened with the link. I ain't get one, and it's a whole bunch of stuff is just going on. But it's good to be on with you boys, man. It's good to see my boy Chris, man. Good to see my boy AC, man. You've been globetrotting, man. You was in Indiana last week, brother. What's going on with you?
I was in the damn sticks in Indiana. I'm saying I was trying to watch that. I was telling Chris before we got on, I was trying to watch that Kentucky game out there. My phone would just like show me one play and then just buffer.
Oh, oof.
But I was lucky though, because it was the South Carolina game that we lost, so I didn't lose much. You know what I'm saying? I was glad I missed that one.
Right. I was gonna say that's the one you don't want to tune in completely for. Oh, damn, we losing? Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it.
Yeah. So Chris put it mildly, talking about the disappointment against the Washington Commanders. Oh man, that game was just ugly, like from the start. It seemed like we couldn't get any momentum. When we did get some momentum, like if the field was 80 yards, we'd have been golden. I mean,
man,
we'd have put up crazy amount of points, but unfortunately, it's 100 yards, and we got inside the 5 3 times and scored 0 points out of it. That's just unacceptable. I mean, you can't do that in high school and expect to win, let alone the league. You know what I'm saying? But I'll get y'all's main overall thoughts. I'm sorry if I just took the biggest point of the game.
No, I was gonna say the biggest points were pretty much all the glaring points of that game. You get into you inside the 20-yard line, the red zone, man, and more specifically inside the 5, and you come away with no points 3 times. I mean that's the stat of the game, man. That's the game all in itself. You score once, you win. That's just the honest to God truth. It was like you said, it was one of those games where you just turn on and you just kind of look at it and say, I'm not feeling watching this, so I know they're not feeling playing this. And that's pretty much how that game went.
You have any more thoughts on it, Chris, or is that your main takeaway as well?
I mean, that was my main takeaway, but it was just it was because we were we lost to a really bad team, and they were shocking. Washington were. They were really worse than us. But it's like how KB said, if you don't score when you're in the red zone, then you're not going to win the game. And we were in the end zone so much that we should have had about at least 2 touchdowns from it. And just that, and also seeing the struggles of Fields as well. It was very frustrating, and I really felt for the guy because he was taking some massive shots, but he still hung in there. And I think about it as well, if Mooney had called that touchdown pass, we would have won it. So it wasn't like we were blown away, but it was just because we lost to a really bad team, i.e. Washington. That's what really sort of pissed me off.
Yeah, I agree with what Taurine said here too about the game just kind of crushed our fandom.
Yeah.
I mean, coming into the season when we saw that 6-point or 6-game win and total, I thought for sure we would pass that. But at the same time, I wasn't expecting the Giants to be as good as they are. The Giants might be for real. I mean, they went and beat the Packers and teams like that already. They're riding that Saquon train, and Saquon's looking real good. And, of course, I had the Commanders as a win. I also had the Jets as a win, and they ain't looking too bad either. But we'll have to see how this season plays out. Life with the M's here says, what do you say to someone that is completely down and out on this team right now? And I just got to say –
Are you in a city that allows marijuana use? That's what I would say to you. If you can smoke and get high, do it.
Hey, works for me, mate. Works for me.
This team, man. Like I said, I'm one of the ones that had the Giants and the Redskins as pencil wins. It's good to see that the Giants are doing good. They're 4-1 right now. You know what I'm saying? Battling in the East, which is shocking because everybody thought they'd be in the bottom of that division. I keep wanting to call them the Redskins so bad, but the Commanders, that's unforgivable. It was coaching malpractice. There's something we see every week. We trot this offensive line out. Offensive line is not good. You got wide receivers that don't get open, and like I said, we're not going to hold Fields to not having any flaws because he has his flaws. But where are the design runs when we're in the red zone? I'm watching the game, and Richard Sherman is like, "Why are y'all in the red zone and there are no design runs?"
Absolutely
to Fields at all. If we're gonna sit in the shotgun, why the hell aren't we doing read options? Can he not run them? What's the problem?
Right.
I don't know, man. It just seems like coaching malpractice to me, man. It sounds bad, but it sounds like something we talk about every year for the past decade. We have players that people don't seem to know how to use.
Yeah, I think that my hopes were a little high. I mean, Don Berg came on here and told us our team was trash, but we expect that from him because he's a Lions fan.
Yeah.
But like what I saw from Braxton Jones, he looked pretty good all year. He got beat like a drum from Montrez Sweat. There was no question about it. And if Chase Young had played in that game, it would have been even uglier. The offensive line just looked bad, man. And I know a lot of people are like, I saw online after the game, a lot of people were blaming Fields. I even went back and forth with this one guy during the game. It was like, Fields holds on to the ball too. I got news for y'all. If y'all want us to draft a quarterback in the first round, here's your top 3 picks. You got C.J. Stroud running the same offense that Justin Fields ran, and Justin Fields looked better running it. There's no doubt about it. Justin Fields had a national championship, should have been up for the Heisman Trophy that year type of season with that Ohio State Buckeyes offense. Then you got my guy Will Levis. As much as I love Will Levis, y'all think Justin Fields holds on to the ball too long? Will Levis does the exact same thing. And Will Levis, he will take the hits, which I guess is a good thing. And sometimes you'll see flashes, but you'll also see Will Levis at least once a game. You'll see him throw an interception that should not have been thrown. And then number 3 is the guy at Alabama, Bryce Young, who is 6 foot, 190 pounds. If he took those hits that Justin Fields took last week, he's on IR right now. So I don't see the point of moving forward and trying to get another quarterback in this draft. Kind of wish we had Jordan here to talk about some of this stuff. I feel like we just got to build around Justin Fields and what we do have. The offensive line, I've heard there's some changes. Chris, I talked about this before we hopped on. I've heard that the changes are Braxton Jones is going to get another shot at left tackle because other than last week, he's done solidly. Left guard, they're putting, from what I've heard, Michael Schofield. Center, they finally benched Mustipher. And they're going to put Lucas Patrick in there. And then the right side is the same with Jenkins and Borum. And Borum, honestly, I don't think he's looked that great. I just don't think that they have the depth. I mean, I guess if you think of Riley Reef, but obviously the coaches see him every day. Obviously, they're not seeing much out of him. What do you think that would be a better lineup than what we saw last week, Chris? Or
it's got to be about having Mustipher as centre, really. I mean, and also as well, Patrick wasn't really playing that well as left guard, so hopefully, when he's back to his more natural position as centre, that his play picks up because, he was getting turned around a lot by Washington. I know that's a part of Washington's strength is their D line, but he was getting turned around far too much. But I think, like you say, with the people we've got, the players we've got, I think that's probably the best lineup we can do at this moment in time. Because I think the people who are not playing are people who are still developing, or we just don't feel like they're quite there yet. I think that's probably the best we've got at the moment.
I wouldn't mind seeing maybe once he gets up to speed, Leatherwood maybe in that left guard position. He was a award-winning left tackle at Alabama a year and a half ago. He got 1 year in Las Vegas, and then they cut him loose after moving him all around their O-line and trying to get him to learn different positions and stuff. But I think if you can put that kid in one spot and let him learn, I think he'll be he's got to be at least decent, And we talk about Schofield, the worry of Schofield, how he got beat. I think it was in the preseason against the Chiefs, but like I told you, that was Chris Jones, man. Chris Jones is going to beat a lot of guards in this league. He's a Pro Bowl / All-Pro defensive tackle who just gets it done. Jeffrey McLaughlin here says, it's bad when you're looking forward to college basketball. IU. I don't know if that's much better for you, Jeff, because at least my Kentucky basketball team is pretty good, as long as we don't run into St. Peter's and the monster that they are. But I really put this up because Kentucky and Indiana, that's an old rivalry, like old rivalry. And they're in talks of bringing that back in a couple of years. So I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, the O-line looked bad. I hate that I stayed up all night and watched that game. And we were, we were inches away from winning it, really.
That's what I mean. The thing is that, sorry, AC, sorry, mate. You had that butted in there terribly.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
The thing is, we have lost 4 games, but we're not being blown out. We're not being really blown out by anybody. We're always just right in the game, apart from maybe the second half against Green Bay. They were blowing us out a bit. But every other game, we've been right in it. And if the ball, if they'd got a touchdown where we were supposed to do, or this was supposed to happen, then we could be 4-2, or at least 3-3. So that's something sort of a slight positive I'm trying to take away is that at least we're not getting blown out like 30-0 or. It's like a complete embarrassment. It's just growing pains. It's just frustrating. And like I said on the last show, what I did with Alder, people have got to look at what the overall plan is for this regime. Their plan is to be competitive this year, but next year with all the cap space and having more draft picks as well. That's the time really when I'm going to really start. That's when they've got to start proving to me that the good coaches and good administrators is when they've actually got all the tools there, like they haven't got this year.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to like when you started going on your tangent there, it made me think of this comment of what do we say to Bears fans that are just down and out. This year is not looking good, but we are in every game. So if you're looking at a rebuilding year that we knew we were going into, look, it doesn't happen like the Giants. Most of the time you bring in a new GM and a new head coach. And we saw what Ryan Pace left this regime with. Look at all the guys that Poles had to just straight up cut or trade away because they were older in age, their contracts were bad. It put us in a hole for this year as far as spending. When people talk about bringing in OBJ or bringing in, I remember the Honey Badger when he was a free agent, just talking about bringing in these big name guys. We just didn't really have the cap space. So now what Ryan Poles is kind of doing is this is almost a foundation. He's trying to build a foundation and build up from it, which sucks for us as Bears fans that tune in every week to watch this team and hope for a win. But they are close. I mean, all these games are close. Even the Vikings game that I thought was going to be a blowout, they ended up clawing their way back and actually having the lead in the fourth quarter. So that's something we can use going forward. You can see who should stick around and who should probably be let go, like Smith Marset, who they released, and they brought up Isaiah Coulter from the practice squad to give him a shot. They're going to give these guys chances to make or break their careers, really, because these guys are all young, hungry guys on short contracts that they're fighting for their NFL lives. I saw a thing today that put the first round picks that the Bears have up against the first round picks that, the Bills, the Chiefs, all these major teams have. We have 2 first round picks. Those teams have like 5 to 7 first round picks. So that hurts too. When you make that trade for Khalil Mack, you expect him to be the cornerstone of your defense and carry you into the future. And that really didn't happen. And then you trade up for Mitch, which is on Ryan Pace. That drops you another first-round pick. And then you trade up for Justin Fields, who I love, and I think he's the future. But that kept us from having a first-round pick this year to maybe get a wide receiver that we could pair with him. Maybe get a franchise left tackle. We saw 9 offensive linemen go in the first round. And we saw a ton of wide receiver talent go in the first round. Chris Olave in New Orleans. You saw, I'm trying to think off the top of my head, all the first round wide receivers we saw last year.
Garrett Wilson, Jamison Williamson or Williams, whatever his name is, that went to Detroit. Drake London. Who else? Somebody else.
I think.
Definitely another wide receiver, but
right. The point is, we saw a ton of wide receiver and offensive linemen go off the board, which is why he went with Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. I was looking for a guy's jersey that I wanted for the future because I like to have players who are on the field. I think that number 9 is going to be the one I get. Honestly, I like the way that kid plays. And Kyler Gordon's starting to put it together a little bit too. He had a good game against the Commanders, going against. Say what you will about the Commanders, they have wide receiver talent.
They can shit
Scary Terry and Curtis Samuel. They got some dudes over there.
I was gonna say I don't think Dotson played against us, but that's the other one, Dotson.
There it is.
It was like there's somebody else. It was John Dotson.
Yeah.
But I mean, I tweeted this out 2 days ago when we get to talking about saying what you want to build this year, as opposed to what you're going to keep next year to actually try to compete. Next year, these are just tackles, okay? Just the tackle market, because at this point, you should go out and buy the line. I get the draft and shit, whatever. Go buy your line. You have Orlando Brown coming off from Kansas City. They're going to have a hard time retaining him because he's looking for left tackle money. You have Jack Conklin, You have Elgin Jenkins, my cousin that plays for the Packers.
Well, give him a call.
McGlinchey. They just picked up fucking McCaffrey. You're taking that giant contract on too when you already had contract issues. McGlinchey is going to be available. McGarry from the Falcons and Isaiah Wynn, who I guess a lot of Patriots fans are saying should be traded for whatever fucking reason. Point being, there are going to be tackles available next year. You can sign realistically, and I'm throwing money to the wind. We have a shit ton. You can sign a Brown, and let's just say a McGlinchey. Kick Whitehair in, because I'm getting this idea. Folks are like, oh, we should just cut Whitehair. Why? We don't have linemen in the first place. Why would you cut somebody?
Right.
Kick him in to play center. Oh, that's a smart idea. Start playing Leatherwood today at left guard. If you do it, then you have a fucking line of Brown, Leatherwood at left guard, Whitehair at center, Jenkins at right guard, and McGlinchey at right tackle. Who says no to a line like that?
I don't know about Whitehair at center. We kind of tried him there, and he had some issues snapping.
I mean, he's all he. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. But my man it's the thing of this. He's always been solid. You know what I'm saying? And if you're looking for a stopgap, yeah, maybe you can draft this one kid they're talking about. I can't remember what college he's in, but they're saying he's like the best center prospect in years or some shit. I can't remember what his name is.
I know the kid from Iowa was highly rated last year.
He was.
So if they're saying he's better than him, I haven't seen that name yet. I'll have to.
I can't remember where it was at. I thought I shared it on Twitter, but I didn't. But they were talking about this kid saying that he'll probably be taken early second round because you don't take a center in the first round for whatever reason. But the point being is this: we're gonna take our L's this year. We had high hopes because of the coaching, all the changes. That shit's not happening this year.
Right. I want to see some young guys get playing time. Dominic Robinson has had 3 sacks in his first how many games we played? 6 games.
6.
But he hardly ever sees the field, it seems like. Like, get that kid on the field and see what you got going forward. I know the trade deadline's coming up, and a lot of people are talking about Robert Quinn again. I don't know what you're going to get from him. He's had some decent games. He did play pretty good against the Packers, but he's not balled out like he did last year, really, unless I just don't know what his trade value is. Of course, the Roquan Smith is always going to be up because of the situation earlier in the year. People are talking about Eddie Jackson. I love Eddie Jackson, and I said it this offseason. I said it right here. It's on audio. I think Bojack will have a resurgence in this defense, and I feel like he has. He has done what we needed him to do. He's coming up and making tackles when he has to, but his best position is that center field. And we even saw it last week against the Commanders. He turned into a wide receiver and caught the ball over his shoulder. You just don't you can't just replace that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying. The other one is Montgomery, just because of his contract coming to an end with. I got to tell you, man, I see a guy every Saturday that reminds me of the way Montgomery runs. He's hard to break down. He doesn't have breakaway speed, but Chris Rodriguez Jr., he's one of the top running backs in the whole SEC. And they're talking about him in the 5th, 6th round. That's
hey, look, I'm always on the Blake Corum train, baby. Hey, but
Michigan just reloads in the backfield, dog.
Always. That center's name is John Schmitz. He plays for Minnesota. I was gonna say just for shits and gigs, his rating right now or grading for this year is a 90.6. Run blocking is 90.1. Pass blocking is 81.9. And they're talking about this kid. They said that he has first round talent, but because he's a center, he'll more than likely be drafted in a second. So
we'll have to see where our pick is, because I would love to draft a center just like Jeffrey says here, but man, if we've got, like, if the season continues to go bad and say we pick at like 34, 35, would you draft a center that high? I just feel like that's really, really high for a center.
Or it's trade back bait, bro.
That's true. We'll see how everything goes. Taurine says if Poles ain't going to pay Roquan, let's move on. I mean, I love Roquan, but he's kind of been, and we said this for years about
there we go.
Urlacher. Urlacher in the middle of the field was one of the best middle linebackers in coverage. But if they would run right at him, he was toast. And I feel like I'm seeing the same thing out of Roquan. Dude, we saw Roquan get laid out by Carson Wentz.
I mean, it's kind of a crack. He wasn't paying attention to that shit.
That was embarrassing.
Hey, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. If I'm running and I'm not paying attention to you because I'm like, man, why the fuck would the quarterback get involved and then he hit you? Then I'm going to get up and I'm going to look at you like, I thought you was at the play, dog. I should do your ass up. And
too with the rules the way they've been, if you hit a quarterback, it's different than hitting a running back. I mean, we've seen it. So maybe
I was
that
gonna
was part
say,
of it, but
the way I thought about it, because you get on, you see the intro react. Damn, he got killed by Carson Wentz. It's like he wasn't paying Carson Wentz no damn attention. And then you get hit by Carson Wentz. The first thought in your head is, I should have laid you the fuck out. Yeah. That should have been my first thought. I should have laid you the fuck out and then got flagged for it.
Man, I played linebacker. If you're a linebacker, you have got to bust through that.
Yeah.
He should have laid Wentz out. And
he should have laid him out, bro. He should have killed Wentz's ass. But like you said, in his probable defense, if he would have hit Wentz and been flagged, then it'd be like, okay, everybody been looking at him. You know damn well you're not supposed to hit the quarterback, blah, blah, blah. You're always going to try to protect him no matter what. Hindsight's 2020. I bet right now, 10 times out of 10, Roquan sees Wentz coming at him, he destroys Wentz for no reason other than just to say he hit Wentz.
You know that tape was not fun to watch for the team.
They're like, my man, you got like, hey, how my man Mr. Go 30 do it? See, this is the part right here. You was pissing down your leg. You're not really an athlete. The moment was too big. You took your eyes off of him. Then he cleaned you up, just like your mama does your laundry. Hey,
that's one of my favorite TikTok accounts. Is that?
Hey, that's my guy.
He's so funny.
But what I was saying, man, like I said, with the money you have next year, I get everybody saying, we should probably draft O-line. I'm more along the lines of right now, if you have the money to spend and there's going to be assets there, go out and overpay to fix the line. You have the money to go do it. If you can, I said before, at minimum, I'm bringing in 2 offensive linemen and a D lineman. If there's a way that the Commanders do not decide to re-sign Daron Payne because of what he's asking, go get Daron Payne. Go. Yeah. I don't care when folks say, oh, why would he come to Chicago? Money talks. Throw money at these players because you have an abundance of it. You're not going to spend on receiver. You're more than likely not going to be spending at any other fucking positions. I mean, I think they said it is a corner that might be available, but fix the trenches because that's where it starts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with you, KB. Put money in the trenches and try to draft some wide receivers.
That's all you can do.
And maybe corners, because that's where the draft is going. If you look, you see wide receivers, corners, and you see offensive line going in the draft. But even with those offensive line, like we saw the Giants for years, they put draft picks into their O-line.
Yeah.
And until Dabo got there, it didn't look good. So, yeah, I agree. Put some money in the O-line and the D-line. I didn't know Daron Payne was even a free agent. But they've put a lot of draft picks into their D-line, so they probably feel like they can fill that slot with the guys they've drafted.
I want to say either was it him playing on a tag this year?
Oh, I'm not sure. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, I want to look that up real quick because I remember at the beginning of the year somebody talking about Daron Payne, and then there was the possibility. Somebody said something about the possibility of him being moved, and I was like, "Why the hell they moved Daron Payne?" And they spoke on it as strictly being about money because he's asking to be paid, and rightly so. The man's a menace, and he destroyed Sam Mustard for the entire game.
Yeah. At this point, I think you could stand a chance of destroying Sam Mustard.
Hey, facts.
I like Mustapher. I like his story. Undrafted free agent out of Notre Dame, hometown kid type kid. And he's really good friends with Olin Kreutz. You know, Olin will defend him to the day he dies. But, man, you can't be the dude getting pushed back into the quarterback. He's getting the ball and the center in his lap every play. And and that's another reason why you get inside the 5-yard line and you can't score, because your coach knows he has a deficiency there. He can't just he doesn't feel like he can just line up and QB sneak it across the goal line, or you know, and they try it with Herbert, or they try other stuff. Go ahead.
Payne is a free agent at the end of this year. It's an article that just came out today. Payne, a first-round pick in the 2018 draft, is having the best season thus far in 2022. He is also a free agent at the end of 2022 season. So I want to say, I'm correct on what I was thinking. I believe they franchise tagged him. I believe. So it's either get something done or let him walk.
Well, if he was drafted in 2018, so he had 2018, 19, 20, 21. So, yeah, this year would be his franchise tag year. So unless they re-up it again and try to franchise tag him again, which they have that option to do, or he might be a guy at the trade deadline that they try to use. And we'll see if Poles is a trade deadline seller or buyer, or what he does. Brianna Chase, I like what she says here. Roquan needs that Buckus mean streak to improve. I agree 100%. And also, since we're talking draft, I mean, if you just look at the top weak side linebackers, you've got Darius Leonard, a.k.a. Shaq Leonard, in Indianapolis, who they drafted in the 2nd round. And then you got Warner out in San Francisco, who I think they drafted in like the 4th round. So that shows that you can find. I love Roquan. Don't get me wrong. I love Roquan. I love SEC football. I love all that.
$20 million.
Exactly. You cannot pay him $20 million when you feel like you can replace that quality through the draft. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense. So that would be a guy that's moved at the trade deadline as well. I don't know what they're planning to do.
Don't you think that they might franchise tag him next season? That's what I reckon they'll do.
Even with the franchise tag, I think it's like $18 million. So
it's still a lot.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. So you save a couple million, but that's still a lot. I mean, if they want to franchise tag him and then try to trade him next year, that could be a thing. But I really don't know what their plan is, to be honest. Matt Felchisi says that Patrick is going to get wrecked too.
He has been. He has been.
We'll have to see Monday night how that plays out.
Yeah, I really want to see what this new line is supposed to look like. You know, you get all the rumors out of camp now saying that the line has been changed and that Mustapher is supposedly benched.
Yeah.
So if that's the case, then is it Patrick back at center? I'm really curious to see what this lineup is supposed to be.
The lineup I saw, and I can't remember where I saw it on Twitter, so take that with a grain of salt or whatever you like. But I saw Jones at left tackle, which he's been solid except for last week. He got beat like a drum by Sweat, but Sweat is an athlete, man.
Oh, hell yeah.
He's a dude. I think he ran like a 4.4 coming out.
Yeah.
Like, dudes that big should not be running like that. But so they get Jones at left tackle. Yeah, and then you got they're going to give Schofield a shot at left guard, Patrick at center, and then the right side staying the same way. They're going to continue moving forward that way. Schofield looked bad against the Chiefs, but like I said, Chris Jones is Chris Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Top 3 goddamn defensive tackle in the damn league. I don't. I mean,
yeah. Focheezy says, "Where's Leatherwood?" Maybe he's not all the way there yet. I know he was out with a illness, so maybe he's just still getting his strength, stamina, and that type of stuff up.
I was gonna say a lot of reports
at some point this season. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot of reports said that they were. I guess they're bringing him along slowly.
Yeah.
But that's when I kind of made that tweet. It would really behoove the Bears to get him in and situated at whatever position they're trying to have him at. To me, it's more than likely it needs to be interior. because it was said before he was even drafted that he would probably be a better guard than he would attack on the league. So if you can get him and get him in at left guard now, then then maybe that does give you the opportunity to say we can cut Whitehair next year. Yeah. Because you have Leatherwood established. Then you have 2 young guards in Jenkins and Leatherwood, or whatever you're gonna do with Jenkins. I don't know at this point. All I know is the man's the best goddamn lineman we got.
Yeah, and then say you draft a center, then you've got a third-year pro on each side at guard, and you've got a young center that you can hopefully move forward with. Caesar says, hasn't Tevin been wrecking D-lines? Why isn't he a full-time starter? I thought he was full-time. I thought he had been full-time since they moved Patrick to left guard.
When they moved him to left guard, he became full-time because the switching experiment that they had was over with.
Yeah. I thought that switching experiment was all about trying to get Patrick reps and get his stamina up to –
That's what I thought.
To move forward as a starter. So I just want to make sure I didn't miss something there and you guys were on the same page with me on that one. Yeah. Let's get into this Monday night game. You've got the Patriots coming in who Bailey Zappi has looked like the dude, but they're benching him because Mac Jones apparently is healthy again. So honestly, and you guys know I do my 12-ounce curl route podcast every Wednesday at mentaldimes.com. You can find them here on YouTube as well. And my co-host is a Patriots fan. And even he was like he was telling me this offseason, I like Bailey Zappi. I like him better than Mac Jones. I think he should be the guy. We should move forward. And actually, he was like, let's tear it down. The Patriots are terrified to ever do a full rebuild. And he said, that's really what we need to do. But apparently they're benching him for Mac Jones again, and I'd rather play Mac Jones than Bailey Zappi at this point.
I was going to say, didn't my man just light the Lions up for 300 yards, bro? I'd take Mac Jones coming off an injury too, shit.
Right. And on top of that, they held the Lions to 0 points. And the Lions, for all you can say, they put up points. Right.
Number one offense
for points this year. And so, I mean, that's going to be tough for our offense to try and get back on track. Hopefully this offensive line change moves out. I would like to see – I'm trying to think how we should break this down. I want to make sure everybody gets points in. But I would like to see Justin Fields on the run. I think if you could take advantage of this New England defense, it's with that. It's with Justin Fields getting in space and running, and hopefully that'll open it up in the passing game. But until you can do that, you just got to run the ball, man. And it might be boring offense to watch, but we got two stud running backs.
Right. You know a scheme I would love to see Justin Fields in? The Cardinals. I would love to see Fields in a spread offense where he might actually be more of the primary runner than I guess Khalil Herbert at this point, because I guess they said they're going with him because he's the hot hand. But let him space the field out. You get these light boxes that it's okay, yeah, I can just take off if I want to. And then I'm hurting you that way, then you can throw the quick game or do some of these things that would actually help your O-line out, because you put the Cardinals O-line compared to the Bears O-line, there's not much of a difference. Yeah. All right. We're just talking strictly talent. I'm not talking about names, none of that shit. The Cardinals O-line and the Bears O-line stacked against each other is probably damn near fucking similar.
Yeah.
So you have two quarterbacks who are mobile. Both of them have great arms. Both of them are uber athletes. Let Fields be the uber athlete. I know I get tired of this whole stigma of saying, oh, well, Poles, this isn't Poles' guy. So if that's the case, then we should have Poles fired, because you came to this team because Fields is here. You want to build up from here. You should never have the adage of saying, oh, well, this dude wasn't my pick. Because like you said before, neither Stroud, Bryce Young, or Will Levis are actually any fucking better than what Fields probably was coming out.
Right.
So all you're gonna do is do the same fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see them spread it out and do quick game and use Fields more as a runner.
Yeah, well, I fucked up and we moved on, but I forgot to hit this right quick.
Piss off, you grotty little wanker! Wanker! Shut up, you soppy wanker!
Wanker! You're a wanker! Wanker!
Stop being a wanker.
You are a wanker, Andy Marr. And I'll be honest, I didn't know that was coming, but I'll say it again, you are a wanker.
This is Chris Watts's Wanker of the Week.
So my bad, I forgot to hit that before we moved on. Chris Watts comes in each week and he tells you who the wanker of the week is. I'll let him tell you what a wanker is and how it breaks down. But go ahead.
The last thing you want to do is get me to actually explain what a wanker is, man, because it's so embarrassing. Yes, that's the one, KB. That looks like it's been done many times, brother. But no, I mean, there's two wankers of the week, and I know, like we played over a week ago. There's two. The first one is the offense when they get into the red zone. For fuck's sake, how many times can you get into red zone and be that close and not punch it in? So that's the first wanker. And then the second wanker is Velas Jones, which is recommended to me by AC. Come on, man. You dropped two.
Yo, one job, man.
All you got to do is catch the fucking ball, mate. So stop being a fucking wanker. So they're my two wankers of the week. And I hope I don't have to mention them both again next week.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We gotta
get
somebody to pull that drop. We gotta get my boy Tooch in here to pull that drop on that.
Oh my God.
Come on, man, for sure. Man, I hate to blame it all on one guy because, as you said, the offense was in the 5-yard line 3 times and didn't score a single point. But man, if Velas Jones just holds on to the ball, that Commanders offense was not scoring on our defense. Even if we won a game 7-6, I'll take a dub. I'll take a dub. But man, dropped the ball, and where you dropped it at was terrible. God awful. Just basically gave them points. That's It
hurts that 3 weeks in a row. It was Velas muffing a punt to squander any chance you had to put the Giants away.
Yeah.
Then it's Smith Marset. I'm sorry. It is damning when your quarterback and other receivers come out and say, yeah, the plan was to get the ball and go out of bounds.
Yeah.
And you're still trying to do shit, bro. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But like I say, he's no longer here. But then to have Bayless do the same shit in the same position.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Come on. I don't know, man. That hurts. That's 3. Just understand that I'm not going to say we win those other 2 games. I'm not going to say that. That's being far-fetched. But to have the chance to win those games the way that we did, we would be sitting tied for first right now in the division.
Yeah. This is Velas Jones going out for punt returns.
Hey, Miss Towley, you want to get high? Are we going to get high? You want to get high?
No, we don't want to get high.
Okay. You sure?
Yes, go away, stupid towel.
I'm addicted to marijuana.
Big facts.
My man was high or something.
Bruh, spaced out. Oh, man, the ball is coming. I should probably try to guess that.
He tried to catch it off his knees. I don't know what the hell he was doing, man.
Bruh.
At the 10.
Man, we need that Kevin Hart fucking drop. Help me! Shit. Bro, what are you doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, he hit his knee. Whoop.
Yeah. I don't know. It was so awful to watch.
It was horrible.
And I was already tired. I was staying up all night. I had to work the next morning. I was god awful. So let's move on. Monday night, put the past behind us. We'll move on to Monday Night Football.
Okay.
We already started. Unless you want to make one more point, Chris. I'd like to move on and put all that.
The only extra point I'd like to make is I absolutely fucking hated them uniforms. I don't mind the orange helmet, but the orange helmet and the orange top and the socks actually started giving me a physical headache. I actually started feeling like, I actually feel like I wanted to throw up. It was disgusting. I don't know if it was because the game was such a crap game and we lost. But I would have sat there going, this is giving me a fucking headache, man. I don't like this at all. So that's my last point about that game.
yeah. My co-host on 12-ounce curl route said, "Man, y'all look like a bunch of oversauced B-dubs wings out there. That shit did not look good." And I was like,
horrible.
Apparently the players like it. But give me the old school Navy myself.
Man, I must be the only one that was like, I kind of like the change. I guess it's because I'm so used to seeing them playing them bland ass jerseys. It's like, anything you do is exciting shit.
Yeah, I think the orange helmet looked good, but not with an orange top. If it went with like a navy top or a white jersey, then I think it looked really nice. But all orange, man, I would get a fear it would do me in after a while, mate. So that's my last point about that game against Washington. Is the uniforms.
I wish they'd bring back the 1940s throwbacks. Those were like my favorite ones. I mean, they look kind of bland, and it seems like the Packers and the Browns both stole from us when they made their throwback jerseys now. But I mean, I like the way that Navy looked with the orange, with just the Navy and orange. I mean, I don't know. But we'll move on to Monday Night Football as everyone's doing. And I talked about wanting to get Fields out in the open. Bailey Zappi benched again. But that Patriots defense is for real. I haven't watched a ton of Patriots this year, so I'm not sure what exactly their plan of attack is other than just great coaching. It seems like they
playing man. They play a lot of man. They play a lot of man defense.
Okay.
And it's man in the typical Patriot way on defense. It's nothing flashy. It's literally we play by the books and we're really good at playing by the books.
Do your job, right? That's their thing, huh? Man, I mean, if you're telling me they're in man coverage, they better have somebody spying Justin. I'm just saying, like, he'll take it. He'll burn you. I mean, going back to the Vikings game, he ran a 50-yard touchdown. He just there happened to be a block in the back on the thing.
What block in the back?
Bullshit. Man,
I watched that shit to this day. I've had folks that are
bullshit.
referees that said, "Wait a minute, he has his hands on him. They're both side. He's on his side." Dude just literally looked over like this and threw his hands up and got the flag. Yeah. It's a flop.
Yeah, it was a flop.
Hey, what a flop.
Yeah. That was tough to watch.
Past weeks, man.
Keep going, KB. Keep going, brother.
It's bad because you know what I'm saying, I haven't been here for the past couple of weeks. So you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like all just finally filtering out.
It's all coming out in it. It's like a burst.
It's like, bro, look, the rules would kill me because it seems like whenever there's a bad call, it comes against us. Yeah. I'm like the Redskins game. How the fuck that wasn't PI or incidental contact at least?
They freaking tried to break Pettis in half in the back of the end zone. And that's not a call, but they hit us with 2 defensive pass interference calls that shouldn't have been, and they were just trying to give Washington points. It seemed like I don't know what that was about.
I was gonna say I've never seen anybody being put in an arm bar in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make a catch, but my man's did a really good job at doing it to Dante Pettis.
And I tried to tweet at Richard Sherman after that game. I think you retweeted it, KB, because they kept talking about Fields. That's all they talked about after the game. They didn't talk about that play. Of course, they talked about the 4th down play that failed, but the play before it, man, was a touchdown, and he still almost caught the damn thing. Like, how is that not I don't know. Need a woosah.
Bruh. I'm at work and I'm like, I wish I could drink. That's back where I'm at because I sure was drinking after the Redskins game. Like, what did I say? Redskins? God damn it, Commanders, whatever they are.
In the jar every time you say Redskins.
Oh, they're taking my last buck. But the Patriots, man, from the couple games that I had seen, because I actually sat and watched them play the Packers. God awful game. It's pretty much par for the course. We're by the books. I wouldn't say that. I think they still have Judon. They're like the number one rusher that they have, but we're gonna play sound coverage, and we're not gonna send exotic blitzes at you. We're just gonna play really good defense.
Yeah.
That offense at that point didn't really look that good because it was Zappi's first game, and he was just coming off the bench. So,
yeah, and Judon, after watching the tape from last week, he's probably found some things that he might think he can do against Braxton Jones. So Braxton Jones is going to have to get back on track real quick this week, because that's definitely the star of their defense.
Yes.
On offense, I've always been a fan of Damian Harris just because he came from Richmond, Kentucky here. He ended up going to Alabama. When Alabama calls, you just go, man. It's like when Kentucky basketball calls. I don't ever blame a kid for going down there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But the star of their running game seems like is Stevenson. I can't remember how to say his first name. Reandre, I believe is his first name. But he doesn't do anything from what I've seen spectacularly. He just does his job. I mean, that's the Patriot way. Just do your job, and they scheme it up nice for them. They seem to figure that out. I still don't know who's calling offensive play calls over there. They got two former defensive coordinators / head coaches that are calling plays, I guess.
Yeah, bro. I don't know how the hell they do that.
Yeah, Nomad says it's now 2 running backs you have to worry about. And I feel like we kind of got somewhat on track in the running game. We held Dalvin Cook to under 100 yards, and we held Brian Robinson pretty well. Antonio Gibson had some nice runs against us, but
hey, I just want to shout out that boy, man. To be shot multiple times and be back the same fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, kudos to that kid. I just want to say that because that's fucking incredible.
I saw a meme this week that said Brian Robinson missed 4 games, and it said Michael Thomas missed 4 games and counting.
Facts.
This dude got shot and he's back, bro.
It's like anybody gets hurt on the Commanders, you have no excuse, because as soon as you said, the coach was like, Brian, come here. This kid here was shot. He's here. What are you doing?
You got turf toe? This dude got shot.
Right. God damn it.
Look at the holes.
It's all bad. But kudos to that kid, because that's tough, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care how bad it was or how serious it would, you still. So that's crazy. I just want to say that.
Yeah. No man is about to pop up here. He said young kids heal like
Wolverine. Facts. Facts.
But I mean, so we got Stevenson, you got Judon on defense. I feel like they drafted a corner late, and he's just stepped right into that JC Jackson position, and they haven't missed a beat. I mean, that defense is just good, man. It's just good scheming. I don't know if sorry, there's someone messing in our thing. I had to block real quick.
There you go.
Know about free girls or nothing like that.
You ain't trying to find out about the free girls in your city, 78? Oh, turned up. Ooh.
Sure am not.
Fuck it, send them over here.
My boy Chris said, I'm trying to party.
That threw me off. I can't even know what I was talking about now. I was over here trying to watch the chat, and I just see that pop up. Like,
hey, I looked down the chat. I said, "Free girls." What the hell is past 36 fun? Past 36. What do these free girls look like? For one, if they're free.
And you talking girls? I mean, trying to get somebody to jail, or what is this?
Right? Is there a 2-for-1 special?
Mhm.
Because if we can get these like combo deals, I'll take 2 darks and a white. Hell, I even got the honey that'll get us started. You feel me? Oh Lord! You say you'll take it for 200. Bigfoot, listen. If you're paying 200, they're not free.
Yeah.
Keep your money, man. This is what we're trying to do to help you. Oh man.
So
God.
talk about the offense some. We talk about their defense. Is there O-line? Is there a spot that we could take? I guess I could have done a little more research on this team before I just hopped into this game. Is there a spot that we can take advantage of this team? I don't really trust their weapons on the outside. They look good with Zappy, but for some reason, Mac Jones, I don't know, he's just not seeing them, or if they were still a new team and he hadn't had it all figured out yet. But I like Myers, but I really don't know who else they got. They got big money last year.
Jacoby Myers. They got Parker from the Dolphins. Because I remember they got him for a really late round pick, and that, we was kind of just sitting there like, we could have made that trade.
Mm-hmm.
They got Parker, Myers, Kendrick Bourne, who I guess is actually on the trade block and is really good friends with N'Keal Harry, and Nelson Aguilar.
Oh, speaking of N'Keal Harry, we might see him come back this game. Wouldn't that be a little bit of poetic going against his former team? Now, I don't expect huge things from him, but I mean, at the very least, he's got a big body, and he's probably going to know to get out of bounds when he's got to get out of bounds.
Exactly.
So that'd be something to see. I wouldn't mind seeing him in the red zone a little bit. Just throw it up to him, and hopefully he can make a play. He's a big dude. I think he's like 6'4" or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he'd get broken in half the way that Pettis did last week. So maybe that's something to look forward to. See how he works out. I don't have huge expectations for him. I know he was big coming out in the draft.
I was gonna say I don't know if you watched any film kind of like on Drake London at all, but he was pretty much the Drake London of that draft.
Okay.
He's a big dude. He can move, and was pretty much I'm gonna go up and get it. But the film I was watching, he was breaking away from cats when he was running. It was crazy. He looked like he might have been the best wide receiver prospect in that draft. Just purely off of watching film. But
yeah,
he has the talent down in there, man. Like I said, he is a former first rounder,
right? And you would think that the Patriots would have been able to get something out of him, but they weren't able to, and maybe it was just a clash in scheme or something. I really have no idea. But I look for like Justin Fields to be able to run on this team, because you say man coverage, that's telling me that there's a middle of the field wide open, or something's going to be the O-line needs to get their shit together quick. But that's definitely what I'll be looking for tomorrow night is Justin Fields' running game. I mean, he might, and hopefully that'll open the passing game too, so you can build one off the other. That's another thing about us is we run the ball so well, but it seems like our play action just hasn't been working. Like I see it so many times where they'll hand it off, and I see the whole D-line collapse, everybody collapsing around Montgomery. That should tell you that the play action's there, but I don't know what the issue is there.
I mean, is that down to Fields not seeing it, or is that down to our receivers just not getting open?
I think it's a little bit of both. Yeah, because I mean, when you've got a guy right in your face, it's difficult to make that throw. Even the greats, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, those kind of guys, they've said, and that's why Aldo was on this tangent about getting a franchise offensive guard. When he wanted Quentin Nelson so bad. Technically,
he's gonna be a free agent too, unless they extended him.
I I think he's like the cornerstone of their team. So.
Yeah, I was gonna say they need to. They're gonna extend him. They're gonna extend him. He might be their best offensive player. That's saying a lot because they got Jonathan Taylor.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah. And Torian's got a good point here. Putting Mac Jones is not fleet of foot. He's not gonna kill you running the ball. So
who's gonna get to him?
I mean,
yeah, that's a good point.
Give me Dominic Robinson for 200, Alex. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's this kid doing? You know, Robert Quinn, you got paid all that money, dude. Let's go. Like,
Scope said Nelson got his extension there. That makes sense. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why Travis Gibson isn't starting over Al-Qadim Muhammad. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and last week we did see him get through with some blitzes. We were able to blitz Carson Wentz and get him on his back. So maybe they'll take that and kind of add that into their scheme. If there's really nobody on the back that scares you that bad, just blitz the shit out of them. I mean, if they hand it off, you're back there. If they're passing, then you're in his face. And Mac Jones under pressure is not he's not going to be good. I mean, he played at Alabama, dude. Like, he didn't see pressure in college. He didn't have to learn that. You know what I'm saying? They got 5 stars sitting behind 5 stars down there in Alabama, dude. That O-line is just stacked all the time, constant. But Focheezy says D-Rob been a no-show. He's got 3 sacks in 6 games. So how is that a no-show? Dude, Robert Quinn's been a no-show, bro.
I was going to say Robert Quinn has been the no-show. And then next after him has been Al-Qadim Muhammad. So, like I said, I'm on board of that, letting D-Rob and Travis Gibson be the starters at this point. That's why when people brought up the whole idea of trading Robert Quinn, I'm on board. There ain't no point to keep him. If this is really going to be a damn rebuild, then break it down, strip it down to the studs, build next year.
Yeah. Who are the pieces that you would like to see kept though? That's a big question because obviously Fields.
Hell, at this point we don't even know if that's gonna happen. Shit, we might be burning another pick on a fucking quarterback. But
I hope not. I really
Fields,
hope not.
of course, Mooney. Who else are we putting on the offense? Jenkins,
Montgomery. They might trade him next year.
I was gonna say, hell, I don't know if he'll be here. Hell, we don't know if he'll be here after next week.
Yeah, I will say this about Montgomery though, he runs like his contract's on the line. Roquan is not playing like his contract's on the line.
Right,
Montgomery. I love the way they're using him this year. When they get him out catching balls, setting up screens, I mean, you got to do stuff like that, man. You got to do it more often. How many times have we seen it? If your offensive line is struggling, you've got to scheme around it. It's just, man.
And
but
I want to comment on this real quick too because I see people saying Quinn needs other people. Quinn didn't have help last year when he got the 18.5 sacks, so that's not an excuse. Mac was hurt.
Yeah.
Hicks was hurt. The only person that you might have had in there at that point was Eddie Goldman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
he's
Eddie,
retired now.
Thank you. You could flip flop him with Justin Jones.
Yeah.
I mean that there is no excuse for what the play of Robert Quinn other than it is him. So
yeah,
that's all I want to say on that. As far as like I said, if we're just gonna go off of what we need, like I'm saying, like we would keep probably Fields, Montgomery, Herbert, of course, Mooney. I know people are down on Kmet. Listen, Kmet would be a very good number 2 to somebody, and he's still young, so I would keep Kmet and Jenkins. That's 6 people.
I think Kmet's fine, man. When I see him fighting for extra yards and doing the things that you want to see your tight end do, encouraging to me. I mean, he's not ever going to be a Travis Kelce.
No.
He might not ever be a George Kittle or anything like that, but he's got so much heart, dude, and I love to see when he gets the ball, and it's 3rd and 8, he gets the ball 6 yards, and pushes forward for those extra 2 or 3 yards, and just gets up and just fires me up, man. Just seeing him.
I would love to see them go to him more down the seam, because when they started doing it in the Commanders game, and I was in shock. I was like, oh shit, we throw the tight end in the seam now?
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. But to be real, he's been kept in to help block. He even said it and they did a press conference with him, or just a meeting with him, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And he said things to that effect. I want to get out more, but I'm being used to block.
Yeah.
But I mean,
what about defensive guys? Who do you think is a guy? Obviously, Brisker and Gordon, because they just got drafted.
Jalen Johnson.
Jackson.
Yeah, I was gonna say now I will keep Bojack.
Yeah.
Then I mean, it comes down to whether or not you want to keep Roquan or not.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, like I said, bro, Roquan's a hell of a player, but $20 million, I need Brian Urlacher or Ray Lewis in the middle of my defense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm at this point, Vildor is actually kind of impressive.
Yeah, he had a nice pick against the Vikings, and he's been. I mean, he hasn't been shut down, but he's been solid for you. And Eberflus has shown a history of taking guys lesser known or lesser talented and getting the best out of them. And I think that's coming to fruition again with Vildor, who we all had wrote off. He definitely didn't look good last year.
No.
So.
Focheezy Young is, I believe, he's still on IR. Even though I don't. The funny thing is, I think when they placed him on IR, even he didn't realize he was getting put on IR.
Well, they put him on an IR before the season, so he has to miss the entire season.
Because I remember when he was like, he tweeted out something to the effect of all of this is cap or some shit, pretty much. And then he went to IR. So I don't know. But I remember specifically seeing that tweet, him saying something about him not being hurt, but going to IR. So, I mean, you look at it, we need a lot of the D line. I would love to keep Justin Jones because I think he'd be a nice 2 on the D line. You know what I'm saying? Travis Gibson. I feel like I'm reaching for like straws here, like
yeah.
But it's
Roquan has the type of play style. I think he was trying to say beat up on, and that's pretty accurate. I mean, the O line's going to get out and get after the blocks, and Roquan does not do well fighting through blocks, and that also goes back to our defensive line, because if as a linebacker, if you've got not only the offensive line in your lap, you've got your own guys in your lap, that's a problem. That's a damn problem. And we knew that the Tampa 2 style defense struggled stopping the run, but
they should have kept that Tonga kid. That was a bad cut to me. They should have kept him. You 300 plus pounds, strong as shit. Yeah, you should have left him in the middle of the defense, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see Robert Quinn. Go ahead, Chris.
I'll just say we are definitely lacking in the middle of the defensive line. Like KB just said, it'd be nice to have a big dude, 300 pound plus, who can just plug up the hole so that linebackers aren't having to deal with them sort of blocks. So I think that's definitely going to be a big issue in the offseason next year.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of plugging the hole and helping us fill up this offseason, I'm going to bring in my man, Johnny Santucci. What's good, Tooch? What's up, brother? You're on mute.
Yeah, you're definitely on mute, too.
All right, here I am. Let's try it again. No
good,
Bears game today. What the heck? All right, we got a lot of
I know, it's weird.
too. But, tomorrow night, got a date with the Patriots and Bailey Zappi
Oh, it's Mac Jones.
Is it Mac Jones?
Yeah.
All right.
We're playing on Monday because I have to work today, and I know that at some point I'm going to have to be drunk watching this game.
Man, I think on Bury Your Souls, we talked about how Bill Belichick will take away the Bears' run game. That's what we do best. 170 rushing yards a game. Belichick's not an idiot. He's going to focus on the run, and he's going to make Justin Fields pass to beat them. And, not sure if we can do it. The Patriots aren't that good a run defense. So they're definitely going to focus on the run defense and try and shut down Monty and Herbert. And if he's smart, he'll put a spy on Justin Fields.
No,
man, the last game, Justin Fields really impressed me. I don't know about you guys. I'm sorry. I had a couple other shows I had to do before this, cool. So I haven't been listening. But it was the grittiest quarterback performance I think I've ever seen of a Bears quarterback, at least in a very, very long time. Justin Fields was getting pressured on 46% of his dropbacks, and he took a beating. And got back up every time. He'll do a set of push-ups before he gets up, KB.
Oh yeah. I was like, my man gonna be sitting over here jacked like, I gotta throw the ball, coach. I gotta throw the ball.
You ain't beat me. I'm still, look at me.
Right.
I'm gonna get back up. You need a couple harder shots to get me out of the game. And I love that. I got to tell you, man, I just love that. And if as a Bears fan, you don't love it, I don't know why you're rooting for this team. I just it also made me super angry at Ryan Poles, because how could you give this kid you're supposedly you give him an offensive line that's just absolute garbage. Name me a Bears offensive lineman that could start on any other team. Maybe Tevin Jenkins.
I was gonna say Jenkins. More. That's about it.
That's it, right?
Yeah, I mean, Lucas Patrick was a backup in Green Bay. Braxton Jones, just because of his draft status, probably wouldn't be given a shot anywhere else. I like him. He struggled last week, but I like Braxton. But yeah, Tevin Jenkins is probably the dude.
Let's look back. I mean, we talked about this on Bury Your Souls and about how angry I was after this last game. And I look back at the draft, and Ryan Poles turned 5 picks into 11 picks, but only 2 of them are really any good. Out of 11, maybe 3. Give me Jaquan.
A lot of them we don't know about yet. I mean, like a lot of those guys that you grab late.
Okay. I mean, name one of the draft picks that could start on another team besides Jaquan Brisker.
In their first year. I mean, it's their first year, too.
I know. I'm just saying, look, the potential for Jaquan Brisker is apparent. That was a good pick. Kyler Gordon, he's not a slot corner. He's probably in the bottom NFL slot corner, allows a 2.2 yards of separation more than most of the other slot corners. A kid belongs on the outside. Maybe we just don't have anyone else to play in the slot. But
I thought that would have been Vilder's job, honestly.
So did I. Vilder's built more like a slot corner. Gordon's built more like on the outside. So there's that. And then not drafting a 3 technique, which is the heart and soul of a defense. I get the Ogunjobi thing. Physical, he failed his physical, whatever. We've got Justin Jones. He's okay, but not drafting one, that was a big mistake. I know people say, oh, there was nothing there. But he kept trading back. We got Velus Jones. I don't know if the kid's going to be good. I know the punt probably cost us the game, but we can't go into a football game and be on the – you can't go in the football game and be on the goal line and 3 times and not score.
Yeah.
And the last time Justin Fields still almost got us the win last week with the pass to Mooney. If Mooney had secured it a little better, it would have crossed the plane.
On the first one, it's touchdown, but he
on the first one. Yep, bobbled it, and he ended up getting possession of it behind the line of scrimmage. Game over. The Bears didn't. The Commanders didn't win that game. The Bears lost the game. The Commanders. It should have been. We got stuffed on the goal line. it probably should have been 14 more. Probably the game should have been 21-12.
Oh, we will.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It should have been way worse. It should have looked like what we feel like it is, an obvious gap in between the talents of the two teams. You can say what the fuck you want to say about the Bears being a bad team, but they're not as bad as the Commanders are.
Yeah, the Commanders, their defensive line, pretty good. Jonathan Allen had no problem getting through Mustafa and Patrick. It was like, it was easy for him. Not hard to get through the middle of our offensive line. And then Leo Factor's putting up some things. There are plenty of wide receivers. Yeah, exactly. I liked Romeo Doubs.
Romeo Doubs is looking decent, man.
Yep. And there's a spot we could have had Pickens. We could have had a few other guys.
People talk about Pickens and Pierce, but if you take Brisker and you take Gordon off this defense, how bad are we? You know what I'm saying? Like who's playing safety and who's playing that corner position?
Yeah, I'm with you, AC. We're still bad with them. I mean, let's look at the Patriots game. The Patriots game. Here's the thing. Look at the line right now. It's sitting at 8.5. The offshore books, European books, a little bit sharper than U.S. books, and they're already at +9 because they know that people are going to tease the Patriots and get them down to +3, and they think the Bears could probably, if backdoor it to get within 3. So they've already moved the line to Patriots -9. In which case I might think about taking the Bears +9. I know it sounds outrageous, but Bears have had a little extra time to prepare for this game. Right. Think, the Patriots, Bill Belichick, we're going to get out coached, but 9 points is a lot in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So I might look at that, but it's not a game I would recommend betting. It's going to be ugly.
I mean, I fell into the trap in Green Bay of betting us +10. It's kind of worrisome. I would love to say Bears are within 9 points of this team, or even I think the line I saw it at earlier this week. I think Wednesday was 7.5. I would look into that as well, and especially if Mac Jones is playing. Honestly, and my co-host on 12 Ounce Curl Route is a Patriots fan. I told these guys this. He likes Bailey Zappi better. I like Bailey Zappi. It seems like everyone except for Bill Belichick likes Bailey Zappi better in that offense.
And Zappi was his pick.
Yeah,
he wanted Zappi.
Well, I saw it on I think the Sleeper app this morning that Mac Jones is slated to get his position back to start for the Patriots.
And that probably might help, because him coming back, he hasn't had, he's been off for a few weeks. He's a little bit rusty. Bears might get, with him. But, I mean, look, if you look at the rest of the Bears' schedule, I'd be hard-pressed to find some victories in there other than the Lions.
Yeah.
I think the Packers, they might be one of the most dysfunctional teams in the NFL. If you look at
they're starting to slowly implode, man.
The disconnect between Aaron Rodgers and the whole rest of the team, it's probably not apparent to every fan, but if you look close enough, read between the lines, I mean, this could be a guy that's playing alone on a team of 53. It's him and 52 other guys.
Yeah,
and it all that matters is him.
And how long does it take for him to check out?
How long he might already checked out?
Yeah, it looked like he was pretty checked out against the Jets.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the Vikings are building up a nice little lead for first place in our division. Is the division still there for the Bears to do something? Sure, but it ain't likely. And then I caught a little bit of you guys saying, where's the value in the team? Do we start shopping players and stuff? The value is probably before the season when you could have unloaded Robert Quinn after 18.5 sacks last season. I don't know why they hung on to him, or maybe they shopped him, maybe they didn't. I don't know.
We'll never know what kind of calls they were getting on him.
We'll never know what they were getting. But
other teams might be looking at his age and saying,
does he have any sacks this year?
I think he's got one against the Packers.
Got one. Okay.
He had a decent game against the Packers where he was getting in the backfield quite a bit. Yeah. But other than that game, I can't think of one where Robert Quinn was doing what he had to do.
I was gonna say Robert Quinn's stats, I believe, when I checked them earlier in the week, they had him at 7 tackles, 1 sack, and like maybe 2 hurries
for the whole season.
For the whole season so far.
Yeah, so I mean, now his value's like gone. So you'd be lucky to get a 6th round pick for him, a 7th round pick, and move some of that salary.
He might be at that point. He might be more valuable on your team than with somebody else as a 6th round pick.
The trade deadline is approaching. I think it's 2 weeks from Monday or a week from. 2 weeks from Wednesday or a week from Wednesday, something like that.
Is it November 1st?
November 2nd, I think Wednesday.
Week of Wednesday.
2nd. Yeah, it's a Wednesday, which I believe is the 2nd of November. So what is that? A week from Wednesday.
This could be a completely different team depending on how they play that trade deadline. A guy that KB was talking about, a guy that we just played against was Deron Payne, who's on his franchise tag this year. Maybe I don't know, man. Do they want a linebacker?
Yeah. Another point we're talking about on Barrier Souls is do you guys think we have the coaches in staff on our staff to develop Justin Fields? I'm not sure we do.
I was gonna say I heard that bit. I was on board for Pep Hamilton. I wanted Pep.
Yeah.
I went on record on
would have been a great hire.
Sign. He would have been the best thing for Fields.
Yeah.
But Lovey wanted Pep too, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say with Lovey. But the thing is, we interviewed Pep, did we not?
I think so. But the guy up in New York turning things around, we interviewed him, and I mean, I guess when they hired Joe Shane, the writing was on the wall. He wasn't going to come here, but man,
no card.
Yeah. I know they're talking about the coaching staff on the Giants, and Brian Daboll, another guy who's developed Josh Allen might have been a good hire. A lot of people wanted Daboll over Eberflus.
Yeah.
And the thing is that the Bears always seem to make these hires that it's like we had the offensive coach before Eberflus and Matt Nagy, and then we kind of like, well, that didn't work. Let's hire a defensive guy, and we kind of go back to doing the same things when I think the thing would have been to hire an offensive coach that actually knew what he was doing.
A guy with his own actual offense.
Right. That would have been the thing to do. But if you look at the Giants, they've won a lot of close games. Have gotten kind of lucky. They won across the pond with against the Packers coming back in the second half, but not sure they should be 5-1. They're averaging about around 4 yards per play on offense. And you look at the Jaguars, they're averaging about 5.5 yards per play on offense. And yards per play on offense is a good indicator of how good your team's going to be. I'm on the Jaguars today. I'll tell you why, because the public is all over the Giants at +3, and that line has not moved an inch. If all that money's coming in on the Giants, the line should be +2 or +2.5. They want you to take that plus money with the Giants +3, suck you in, because it tells you that Vegas probably thinks the Jaguars are going to win this game, or at least, it'll be closer than 3 points. So kind of like the Jaguars in that game. We'll see if Daboll is able to coach his way out of this one. But
I'm opposite on you. I like the Giants in that game.
I know.
I like what they've done on defense. They run the ball. They control the clock.
It's ugly as hell. And I'll tell you, here's another example. A little while ago, the Chiefs were at home against the Raiders, and the public was all over the Chiefs, and that line did not move. Stayed at +7. I said to myself, I'm not taking the freaking Raiders on the road, and they hammered the Chiefs in the first half, and it looked like it was going to be a blowout. The Raiders are going to blow the Chiefs out. Chiefs came back. They won the game. They didn't cover. But that's another same example. You don't like it. I couldn't put my money on the Chiefs. I could hold my nose and put my money on the Chiefs or put my money on the Jaguars, but that's the way that sports books operate. They entice you with the appetizing line, or Chiefs -6.5. So I only got to win by a touchdown, when really the play is Raiders +6.5. So I kind of like the Jaguars today. Not sure. I mean, I don't know if they'll win. I just think that that's what the line tells me. You know, if the public is all over something, you know, the sportsbook don't like to lose money. They wouldn't be a business if they did.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But as far as getting back to the Bears coaches, like Getsy might not be that good of a coordinator. He might not be able to coach a quarterback. I mean, how much coaching did he have to give Aaron Rodgers, right? The dude's got a freaking golden arm. Yeah, throw the ball to this. He make every throw.
Throw that way. Throw it that way, mate.
He knows. Aaron Rodgers knows what open looks like in the NFL. Justin Fields doesn't know what it looks like yet. I mean, I've seen Patrick Mahomes throw to Travis Kelce with a guy hanging on his back and put it in his stomach. You know, that's open in the NFL. So people have to have a little patience with Justin Fields.
That's not the only place he coached, though. You know, he coached at Mississippi State. He knows he knows a little bit about guys.
A little bit about the passing game.
Don't know everything yet. It's I feel like we're jumping the gun on this.
How'd Mississippi State do yesterday, though?
Well, that's a whole different coaching staff.
I
got Mike Leach down there now. And we beat their ass the week before. Go Cats. But I just feel like we're jumping the gun on this, fellas. It's not even one full season with this coaching staff. Yeah. And we knew it was a rebuild when they started. Yeah. It's not like the Giants are a different story. Like I said earlier in the show, they hired a GM and coach, and they seem to be getting on track. The Jaguars had all the pieces there. They just knew they needed a coach.
Lots of high draft picks.
Right, a lot of high draft.
I was gonna say, when you pick in the top 3 the past decade, you should have a team.
The Vikings had the roster in place when they went and got their GM and head coach. So we're a different monster than all these other teams that hired new head coaches and new GMs. Poles came in and took the job because he knew it was a teardown effort. Yeah, he knew he had to do what he has to do.
Bears fans got to understand it's a teardown.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So that begs a few questions, though. Like, do you think that Justin Fields, how married to Justin Fields are Poles and the coaching staff?
This is what I was saying. And I know AC started to speak on it when I had to go take care of something. If you put what people are mocking to us, you put Bryce Young behind this offense, Bryce Young will be carried out on the fucking stretcher.
After last week's game, you imagine a 6 foot, under 200-pound quarterback taking those hits. He's on IR.
He would be dismantled. My man Lawrence Holmes said the shit best. It is coaching malpractice. You are trying to evaluate a kid and giving him nothing to work with. I know what it's like to play hero ball. Okay, then they literally put Fields out there and said play hero ball.
Yeah.
So
I'm with you.
To me,
set up to fail.
There's no world where you should be drafting the quarterback next year unless it's in the later round. And that is just so you can have a young body in this room not named Trevor Siemian. Fields needs to have whatever they're planning for next year planned out and done for him. And then you go with his growth. The only thing we can ask for right now is for this man to try to grow. But you're asking him to try to grow in a world of dysfunction. That is all that it is. It's a world of dysfunction. You can't tell somebody we want you to be greater than what the dysfunction is, because that's not possible. It's not.
Yeah. Well, I can't speak for Poles and the guys. I know he went on radio right after he got hired and said, yes, we believe in Fields. And everyone still said, like, does he really, or is he bullshit?
Yeah.
Either
Imagine
way,
if he said the opposite, though. I
break
don't
down
like Justin Fields. He would never say that.
It's terrible.
Breaking down the top 3 quarterbacks in next year's draft. We just talked about Bryce Young. He'd be on IR. You talk about C.J. Stroud. Same offense Justin Fields was in. Who looked better in it? Justin Fields led that team to a national championship run in that same offense. He looks better in it. Then my guy Will Levis. I'm a Kentucky fan. I love Will Levis. He's my dude. He's the heart and soul of the Kentucky football Wildcats. But he holds on to the ball too long. He's always got at least one play a game where you're like, how did you throw that? Why did you throw that? Yeah. And he's being injured because he's getting hit too much because our offensive line is struggling here too. Like, give me Justin Fields over all 3 of those guys. You were talking about the Washington State guy. the Washington State guy is the next highly rated guy, highest ranking guy, and that offense out there is just, I mean, Gardner Minshew's the last guy I can name coming out of that offense that's done anything, and he's a backup. You know what I'm saying? Give me Justin Fields, man. I'm married.
Trying not to be too Jordan Silvera-y here on the show, but I'm throwing some curveballs at you because I think I agree with Bigfoot Loch Ness, great name. But Poles is still building the team. Yes, he built a pile of crap this year, but let's see what he does in next year's draft and free agency. Okay, we'll give him another year. Fine. He's going to have a lot more to play with next year in cap space and money.
A lot.
But I think it's certainly fair, Chris Watts, to grade him up until this point as saying, look at the roster he's built, look at the players he's drafted, the offensive linemen, he invested in 3 of them. 2 of them, I don't think, one of them's on IR, and one of them, I think, is on the practice squad.
Oh, yeah.
Zachary Thomas from San Diego State.
Zachary Thomas is on the practice squad. Right. Tyree Carter is actually on the roster, and
then there was
Kramer is hurt.
He's on IR. So he invested in 4 guys past the 5th round.
Yeah, I mean, Braxton Jones started.
Right, Braxton Jones has some potential. I mean, to me, he's a little light. He needs another year in an NFL weight program. I think there's some potential there. He mirrors real well. Not sure he's great in the run game, but he's been sufficient enough. A guy who's great in the run game is Tevin Jenkins. The kid's a bully. He's our best lineman. I don't know. I mean, there was a bunch of mind games going on with him during and before the season with, we're going to put this kid down on the second line and all this stuff. And that's coach's business. I don't care. But he's obviously, as you've watched play, our best lineman so far. So you have to kind of keep him in mind going forward for sure. The rest of the guys, I don't know. I mean, the left side, the center and left guard we need really a lot of improvement there.
Well, they've said they from what I've read, they put Schofield at left guard and they got Patrick at center.
So an NFL veteran. To me, Patrick is also a little light in the pants, but I mean, I think you got.
Well, it depends on the offense you're running too. If you look at the offense that we ran last year when you had Castillo,
I know the zone you don't need as heavy.
You need guys who can move.
Yep. Yeah. If they ain't heavy, they better be country strong or at least weight room strong. I'm not sure our guys are. I mean, Mustafer may be able to move. He can't move. I mean, he'll be able to run, but he can't move anybody off the line, man.
Right. I was gonna say, I know hindsight is 20/20, man. I've said that a few times today. But dog, how nice would it have been to still have James Daniels on this fucking roster?
Yeah.
Like, just take all the bullshit out. You can put him at, say we moved him in the center this year, dude. Then you have him and Jenkins on the inside. Then half the things we're looking for aren't really issues.
Yeah, I mean the
Steelers aren't burning the world down either.
No, I'm not saying that they are, but you seen his
O-line as well. So
I was gonna say, but his
last
grade
couple
this year
games
has been amazing.
Good. Yeah. Last couple games have been pretty good. Maybe it was hurt to start the year. We don't know. But Mustafer is a weak link. Shouldn't be starting. Wouldn't make any other NFL roster. That's just me. I mean, he's in the center of your line. That's where all the pressure Justin Fields sees and why he's not. Right. He's making one read and running.
Yeah.
And then you put in some pressure around the edges when Braxton Jones and Larry Borum let their guy out. But I mean, they've been okay. They're serviceable. The defense.
I've been disappointed in Larry Borum this year, honestly.
Yeah,
I had high hopes for him, and
he's better at guard.
I think it's strength with him. I don't think he'd be better at guard. I think his best position is tackle, but I think he's a backup at best.
Okay, fair.
A Kentucky guy. I'll admit I'm biased. There was a dude named Darian Kennard you might have heard of.
Yeah,
he would be a perfect,
pretty good player.
That's why I said when I listed all those names of offensive tackles.
Yep. KB hit on it.
You need 2 of them, not just one.
Orlando Brown, the left tackle from Kansas City, probably a free agent, and he named McGlinchey, who was a
more likely.
McGlinchey is on the 49ers.
They run this offense. He knows this offense. He's played in it for 4 years. If he's a free agent.
I would pay big money for both of those players. If they came in and said, "Oh, well, this is what my agent is looking for," all right, bro, we'll give you $5 million over that just to get you in the door. I got a shit ton of money to play with. Do what you have to do, but you need to protect Fields. I'm not finna sit here and say somebody else will be quarterback next year. Fields needs to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
Protected down to the wire. Like big a lot of niggas say, look, I get what you're saying, bro. You don't have no problem. We don't have a problem right now. I mean, for next year, we have a problem with watching this kid get killed every time he draws back. 46% pressures on dropbacks, bro. Yeah. And then I made this other little joke: 4.6 million in your wide receiver room. Enough said. You're not over 50 on either.
Yeah, yeah. There's nothing there. There's a bunch of guys who probably wouldn't make any other team's roster. You know.
Yeah. Tareen made a good point here where we don't give quarterbacks a 3-year window anymore. That goes down to salary cap.
Yeah.
Because these quarterbacks are getting paid when they hit their free agency mark. Other than, I guess, Trubisky really didn't. But other than that, these dudes, if you think they're the starter, they're getting big money. So you have to evaluate them on the rookie contract. You have to try and build a team while they're on the rookie contract, which could hurt us in the future.
Ideally, you want, like Aaron's saying, you want a quarterback on his rookie contract.
Yeah.
So you can really build, because after that, you got to make some adjustments in personnel and salary. But I mean, another guy had flashed up there. He turned 5 picks into 11. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if quantity is better than quality. I mean, there's a certain. I could see him trading 5 into 7. Maybe we get some better quality. Drafting the guys that were little, that we missed on. But quality doesn't always. I mean, quantity doesn't always equal quality.
Well, that sounds like the Ryan Pace effort there.
Yeah,
he would turn 5 picks into 3, and then none of them hit. You know what I'm saying? That's so you just gotta. I mean, we just gotta trust the dude. Like I want to give Ryan Poles a chance. I like the guy. I didn't know him when we hired him. I didn't either. I had to read up on him after we hired him. And Eberflus was his guy. He came out on record, said this was my guy. I loved him. That's the reason why we don't have Daboll. That's the reason why we don't have Quinn, who's got that Dallas defense playing well again. Because this was his dude, and Eberflus obviously had a plan to build for the future. I just really think this year sucks because they know and we know, even though we didn't want to admit it going into the season, this is really a teardown year. We have older players on bad contracts that he had to clean up, so he didn't have the money to throw around to. And honestly, I don't even like the idea of throwing money to a big-name free agent wide receiver. What would Odell Beckham Jr. be doing on this offense right now?
No,
it'd be Cleveland all over again. He'd be pissed off. He's not getting the ball.
Yep.
And he'd be
That's
the
why
first
he's
one
not
out
here,
there.
AC.
Right.
That's why he's not here.
Talking about how bad this offense is.
Yeah.
My thing,
social media.
I'm saying this because I'm not going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit here and dismiss Poles. You know what I'm saying? We're going to give him his chance next year because that's what it is. The fact of the matter is, one of my favorite comedians of all time, Dave Chappelle, said it best. It's been rather uncomfortable to watch. That's the big thing, and more on top of that is saying we need Fields to get out of here with confidence and healthy, because this is what the whipping boy year, and we're using Fields as the whipping boy.
Yeah, like you said, Lawrence Holmes, man, it's like criminal.
Yeah,
criminal what they put up for him to use, and is basically this is his rookie year. I know last year was his rookie year, but this is really his rookie year.
And like I said, no man, I'm not trying to jump the gun and say anything bad about the dude. I'm not. Like I said, but if I would have had Riley Reef playing at this point. I'm sorry. If you don't want to play him because you don't want to pay him, then that's really shame on Poles.
Yeah,
and shame on the coaching staff. If Riley Reef is actually one of the better fucking linemen we have, he needs to be starting somewhere.
I mean, he must not be though. If they're not putting him in, they're seeing him every day. We see him.
We say that about how many players though. We said that about Travis Gibson earlier. Why isn't Travis Gibson starting over Al-Qadim Muhammad?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? We literally sat and watched Sam Mustipher play 5 fucking games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get it when you don't have, it's hard to say we should do. But man, something has to give. When you got a dude being destroyed up the middle, and then you have last week with the Redskins, Montez Sweat beating my man's like a fucking drum.
Yep, absolutely.
You gotta do something.
Like I said,
God damn it!
The Commanders' defensive line is pretty darn good, man. Their front seven.
They invested high draft picks.
Even
when they had needs at other places, they went with best player available in their opinion and invest. And their best defensive lineman wasn't even playing against us. Chase Young is a monster, absolute beast.
Yep.
And he was standing on the sideline with pit vipers.
Just can't stay healthy. Yeah. So we're not ending the careers of Poles and Eberflus. I just want to make that clear. All I'm saying is it's fair to judge them on this season. If we're going to judge, if y'all Bigfoot Loch Ness, if you're going to judge Justin Fields,
facts.
We sure as hell can fucking judge Eberflus and Poles on this season.
Thank you.
Okay?
It's partly their fault. He's working with what he's got. Shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm telling you, like we said, and like I said earlier, if you don't admire the game that Justin Fields played last week, the grit, man, the sacks, the stones, fucking, I love the kid, man. I don't care. He may not end up being good, but I'll take that game to heart as one that I really enjoyed his performance. I don't care. It's a young kid, 22 years old. He doesn't know the playbook fully. He doesn't understand the NFL game, but he's going to give you everything he has. He's going to leave everything on the field. You can beat him up. You're not going to beat him, alone. You're not going to beat him one-on-one. He's going to do whatever he can to win the game. And that's something you can build on, man. If he's not going to get the passing game, look at the speed. He's one of the fastest players on the field when he takes the field. It's obvious, man. He can outrun defensive backs if he gets ahead of steam. But if he doesn't get the NFL passing game, then you can say, all right, he's probably going to end up being RG3, somewhere else, backing up somebody, backing up Lamar Jackson or whatever. But
KB said that to get back on track here with this week's game, he said that New Orleans, at least against the Packers, were running a lot of man defense. If they're running man defense, you talk about Justin Fields being able to run, there's your chance. You can try to spy somebody on him, but then that takes away from your pass rush and the ability to stop the run, stuff like that. So, but we got to get into this game, and if you guys don't mind, because I've got to go soon.
Give out some predictions.
We can get our bold prediction, score prediction, offensive, defensive MVPs, and then and we'll get out of here for the day. We'll start with you, Chris, and I'm gonna go backwards this way. Chris, KB, Tooch, and then I'll finish this off.
Go. But I reckon a score. In my head, I'm thinking Patriots is going to win, but in my heart, I've got like the Bears winning 21-18. So I'm going to stick to a Bears win at 21-18. I'm going to be positive, man. So I was quite negative on this last time we did the show. So I'm thinking, Bears hopefully by 3. Offensive player, I think it's going to have to be Justin Fields, really. He's just like what Tooch said. The guy's got the grit. And I just love to see him have a full game like he had that second half in Minnesota. So I'm going to give Fields the offensive player. And on defense, I'm going to go Eddie Jackson. Because I didn't despise him as a person, obviously, but as a player, he really did made it over the last couple of years. But he's a player what's really turned it around in my eyes. So I'd like to see Eddie Jackson have a good one.
Not despise him as a person.
I don't know, man. I bet he's a nice guy, but you know what I mean? Like some people, they talk so personal about the player, but you don't know the fucking player as a man, as a person, as a human. So hey, Chris, I was just saying about. Yeah, I'm trying to backtrack now, aren't I? Terribly. So I'm just going to shut the fuck up.
Boy, Chris, he just got a punchable face, man.
I was just digging that hole, Chris. Keep digging that hole, mate. Keep digging the hole.
You're all good, man. You're all good, bro. This is funny. I guess I go with mine, man. I want to be realistic. I'll probably say 17-14. God, I have such a hard time picking against the Bears, even when I know I should. I'll give us 17 to the Patriots 14. Bold prediction: we throw for over 200 yards. How about that? And more than one touchdown through the air. Player of the game on offense. It's got to be Fields. I don't see it how it could be anybody else. Defense, I'm gonna go with Brisker, and that's only because I just got a feeling that Brisker's starting to kind of break out. And like my boy AC said, that 9. My boy's starting to flash, man. I feel like he'll make a bunch of plays today, kind of establish himself even more. So, yeah, I'll go with that, man. That's all I got.
All right, go ahead, Tooch.
All right, I'm gonna. The over is 7-1 in the Patriots' last 8 home games, and this number's sitting at 40.5. So I'm gonna say 26-19 Patriots.
I said, motherfucker, you got a lot of people scoring points, ain't you?
Yeah.
I think you might see like a missed 2-point try.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right, you got MVPs on each side of the ball, or I guess the missed 2-point conversion could be your bold prediction.
There you go. No. Crap. I don't know, man. I would take an offensive MVP to be Montgomery again. I think if the Bears are smart, they're going to run the ball because that's the Patriots' weakness. I know they'll try to gear up to stop the run, but that's really the only thing the Bears do well, and that's run the ball, 171 yards a game and rushing. So give me David Montgomery, and then I think if the Bears are going to win this game, stay in the game, we got to get some turnovers. So give me Eddie Jackson with the interception.
Okay, yeah, that's a good pick, man. The number's a little high, I think. I'm gonna go. We got a lot of people in the chat picking Bears, but I really don't see us winning this game. I think that it's closer than the books say. I don't think 9 points is unsurmountable, but I do believe Patriots win this one. I'm gonna go with 20 to 17. Let's give us a good close game. Both teams fighting for everything, and we're in a rebuild. The Patriots should be in a rebuild, but they're scared to do that. My offensive MVP, man, y'all kind of took everybody, didn't you?
The obvious was shit.
Right. Well, I'm gonna go with Montgomery as well. Tooch, you spoke about them stopping the run, or that's going to be what they're going to hone in on. If you got dudes trying to stop the run, get that ball on the outside. Give me some Montgomery screen plays, maybe some Herbert screen plays. You get that speed on the outside. You know, he should have had a touchdown last week and he got caught. So yeah, definitely give me some. Give me Herbert. Yeah, I'll give me Khalil Herbert on the offense, and on defense, give me Jalen Johnson. I think he's going to be tasked to shut down their top wide receiver, and I think he'll do a good job of it. Maybe he gets a pick. I know he's not really a pick artist or a ball hawk, as they say, but give me him to get an interception. I'd love to see us.
Might be our best defensive player.
Right. I'd love to see us blitz a little more. We were able to get home on the Commanders with that. Hopefully that goes into the game plan again tomorrow night. That'll be that's what I'm going to go with. I got Patriots by 3. So we cover, but we lose. Sucks to see another loss on national television, but
what do you think about his question?
I was looking at that. I would temper that to say it would depend on the performance. I'm not gonna lie. I don't care if we win or lose at this point.
A lot of my optimism was killed last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Redskins. God damn it! It's another $1. Commanders. Losing to that team was like watching that episode of South Park where they had the baseball and you had the kids play baseball and they didn't want to win and you had to outsuck the other team. That's what it looked like, and we just sucked the worst and we lost. So that kind of killed my spirits. I'm not gonna lie. I just want to see offense. I want to see a team look like they're actually having a plan and they're moving forward. If we lose to the Patriots and we actually look like a functional offense, maybe N'Keal Harry comes in and 2 jump balls later we look better. I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel better about myself.
Yeah. I mean, if Pettis makes that catch or Mooney makes that catch, then maybe I'm in a different headspace right now. It's just, it's tough. It's tough. Like just like Justin Fields said after the game, it's
so close
to keep being told we're right there, we're right there, we're right there. And Justin Fields has never been in this situation. He was a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He went to Georgia. He sat behind
Jake Fromm.
I guess. Fromm, yeah. And then he went up to Ohio State. He leads them in the national championship status. So this is a new thing for him that's testing his what's the word I'm looking for? Resilience. Resilience, for sure. We'll get into shout outs and then we'll close this whole thing out because my wife's already texted me telling me
get the F out. Get clean out the garage, honey.
Get them gutters done, mate.
Right.
So we'll do the same lineup for shout outs that we did for our predictions and everything, and we'll head on out of here. Go ahead, Chris.
Cool. Yeah, shout out is to you boys. It's great to have you fellas back on. Shout out. I'm just sort of. I just keep laughing at the ladies, that free ladies thing. I've still got that stuck in my head. What we're going up on the text. So my head's still a little bit all over the place for some reason. But yeah, just great spending time with you boys. And I just don't want us to get embarrassed on national TV again. Really, I just want it to be a close game, and hopefully the Bears can edge it out and bear down.
Bear down. Go ahead, KB.
Hey, man, in the interest of keeping my boy out of trouble, man, just shout out to the fans, shout out to y'all, shout out to everybody on the network, man. Keep doing your thing. Let's pray for better days, man.
All right, go ahead, Tooch.
All right. Want to thank Aldo and the Barroom Network for all the stuff they do, all the hard work, all the personalities, all the folks that give up time to come on and talk some Bears football. And there's no fantasy football goon show after this, as both of I would have to do the show by myself because the other boys are unavailable. But nobody wants to watch me talking fantasy football by myself. So we went a little extra long here. And check out Weekend Sports Betting Tips with me and Sean and Anthony on Saturday mornings, man. Gave out some free plays this weekend. Unfortunately, I have not won my free plays on the show yet in the past few weeks. But, my free play on Twitter did hit last night. Anthony and Sean both won theirs on Weekend Sports Betting Tips. Next, not this weekend, but the following weekend, everyone will be at Kings in Rosemont, Illinois. Barroom personalities, Mike North and Aldo and myself, Dan Aguirre, Mr. Shorty from Bears Country Podcast. We'll all be hanging out, bowling, watching sports, and talking with Barflies. So come on out, and it's at noon on Saturday at Kings in Rosemont, Illinois.
All right, yeah. So first off, shout out to you guys for coming on here and helping me out today. Shout out to Aldo for holding down the fort for me last week. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all definitely bring it every week. Stay tuned right here to the Barfly or to the Ballroom Network for all things Chicago related. Bears, Cubs, Sox, even though their season's over. I think we got a Blackhawks show. We got everything that you could want on here. Definitely. I'm going to Louisville today for a tour of the sanatorium that was a tuberculosis sanatorium years ago. A lot of people lost their lives, so it's kind of like a spooky season thing.
I was going to say, was it haunted tour?
Yeah.
Okay. Get your Ghost Adventures on.
Yeah, we're going to check
Do they
that
have
out.
do they like spruce it up with some like
They do
actors
they do a Halloween tour, but we're going
Okay.
on a historical tour. It's
Okay.
during the day.
I thought sometimes they like have like people dress up. It's like a haunted house, scary, and you get a bunch of scares.
Yeah.
Okay, don't let nobody grab you.
That's why I'm in kind of a rush here to get out of here because I'm getting texted. So
We'll
see y'all next week. We'll see y'all next week and leave everybody with a bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.